It does.
But do we need to do something funky? Whoops. Just unscrewing it. That's what you get for living with an engineer. All right, hey, great to be here. I love Rotary. You know, it's really funny. I've been a Rotarian, I think 30 years. I can't remember exactly. My first international was the one in Hamburg, and I've been in Rotary 26 years. So I don't know, that's gotta be at least 5 years ago. And I'm hoping to go to Calgary. Anybody here going? I'm looking for
One of our Rotarians,
a roommate
she's
or
not
something. Okay, so really nice to be here, and thank you for inviting me. And I'm here to share one of my favorite topics, artificial intelligence. And I kind of get geeked out on that. What I'm going to share with you today is really an overview. So I'm going to go through a whole lot of stuff, and my intent is to be high level and give you an idea of the possibilities versus saying, okay, here's the 3 things you need to do, and let's walk through step by step. Because hey, you're Rotarians, and you show up and you go, okay, give us a story. So I know we usually don't go to Rotary and go, okay, I need to learn the how-tos. That's typically not part of our deal. And before I get too far, I think it's time to take a picture of you guys waving and being happy. Okay. Oh, excellent. How about this table? Can you wave and be happy? Oh, marvelous. Okay. All right, so let's get this show on the road. I'm just going to go real quick. My background is what I call strategic marketing. It's working with businesses to help them figure out how to grow, whether it was a product, a service, or a company that I worked for or worked with. Everything pretty much has been, let's get the strategy together, let's find out. We need to understand what's going on in the marketplace and what problems we're solving, and then figure out how we're going to grow the business. Get real clear on setting out goals and objectives and how we're going to get there. So that's kind of been my career. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the AI, how I got into that. Anyway, so let's take a look here. This is the first technology of its kind that has promised to do things better, faster, and cheaper. All 3 of those. We've usually had technologies that can do 2 of those. Now we can do 3. And as you can see on this slide, we talk about it makes you more profitable, powerful, and productive. So you can go to the 3 Ps, or you can just say faster, better, cheaper. Here's what I want to cover today, and again, it's going to be high level and it's going to be fast. So I'm going to talk about some specific tools just to give you the big picture of what can be done and what's out there. And I'm going to talk about the 4 processes to transform your organization, and then implementing, how you can implement, and a roadmap. And as always, it seems like we always get rushed. And how about taking action now? It was interesting, I heard the CEO of Palantir on CNBC this morning. Fascinating, and Palantir is one of those stocks in the high-tech world that has been zooming off the charts. So if you want to take a look, it's Palentir, and I'm going to track down his interview and share that with people because it was fascinating to hear him talking. And he basically said, if you're not doing AI, you're just going to be left behind. And AI is just going to be where we're moving. Now, the good thing is, some of that's gotten so much simpler. Anyway, over half of the world's businesses are looking at using AI, and one good reason is because you can grow your business faster. And if you're in business, and I know we have a number of people in education, however, you've been around us kind of people, us business people, and we're almost always looking to grow. How do we grow the business? And I always say, if you're not growing it, at least make it more profitable. And the fun thing, in a way, is that only 2% of the world's businesses are functioning at the level that they need to with AI. So if you say, hey, I don't really know much, you're in the perfect spot. Because a lot of the businesses, and you would think businesses should be leading the way, right? A lot of them are not getting too far yet. And if we're talking about business or an organization or ourselves personally, a lot of times we're thinking, am I behind? Is my organization falling behind? What do I need to do? Anybody here using much in the way of AI? And ChatGPT is the big one out there. Okay, do the rest of you have an account anywhere? Okay, and again, this will be your golden opportunity. And let's just take a quick look at why implementation is so slow. Well, as you can well attest to, there's a lot out there. And one of the big questions is, where do you start? What is all this about? It sounds like mumbo jumbo, it's confusing, and so then we'd rather just go away and hope it went away, but it's not going away. So there's that. We're concerned about what's it going to do to our organization. Is it going to eliminate jobs? And I don't know. I probably didn't write this down. There's a statistic that said something like, yeah, there's been 1 million jobs eliminated, but 10 million created. I mean, some crazy relationship between the two. And really what we are eliminating is a lot of the repetitive, lower level type of jobs and creating opportunities for people to do more creative and more intellectual, more satisfying work. So here's the true confession time. I heard about ChatGPT from my colleague in Scotland. I'm in a mastermind group and our leader is in Scotland. And he said, I gotta tell you guys about this new thing. It's called ChatGPT. And I thought, oh, please. Do I have to learn one more thing? Anybody here just in that mind frame as well and thinking, can I just go to sleep for 2 years and will it go away? You know, it's not going away, that's the thing. And so my first reaction was, I don't need more stuff to do. I don't need more things to learn. Well, that was in November of 2022, and the next week he said, I gotta show you guys a demo. He showed us a demo. I'm like, oh, I am in. I set up my account and I started using it that very day. So once you get used to it, it's not all that hard to do some real basic things. And, you know, like I'm in the certification program that seems to be going on and on and on. And the other thing I think that probably is different in my approach is I'm a business person that's used to growing businesses and companies and products and that kind of thing. And then I have taken AI and said, where can this help? Where does this fit in? And being mostly a bottom line type person, I don't want to do AI and work with companies where it doesn't make sense and it's just a waste of time. And I'm concerned that AI is becoming a little bit of the latest silver bullet. And what I mean by that is, remember when some of the digital media came out and it's like, oh yeah, I need a new website, I need this, I need that, and we expected miracles? Well, I'm a little concerned that people are thinking, oh, well, if we just do AI in our organization or in our business, we're gonna just make so much money or be so much more successful or whatever. And it's like, if you have inherent organization problems, you still do, even if you're using AI. So I'm just a little concerned that people are gonna go a little wild and maybe think it's gonna solve all their problems. Okay, here's what we're gonna talk about. Conversational AIs and chatbots. We're gonna talk about LLMs. We're gonna talk about, well, these things that are here on the list so that you get an idea, again, big picture of all the kind of fun and exciting things that are available. The other thing I want to mention to you is that a lot of the people in AI land are creative and they're fun. So here's another service, and clipboard time. I'm going to share a link at the end so that you can get one of these. I have 2 left over because I was at another group that I thought they're probably not all over the computers. So there's 2 of those, and this just tells you that's the sheets that tells you all the things I'm going to show you. And then this, I'm old school because we can be old school and techie. And so this is for if you are interested in signing up to be on my email list. And every Wednesday I send out a new AI tip. And in fact, this week I decided it's probably not really an AI tip. But does anybody here ever work with PDFs?
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever try to edit one? Do you ever start swearing?
Yes.
Or kicking things or whatever? Well, I found a way to edit a PDF and I was so excited. I'm like, I'm putting this out there even if it's not AI. And you can use Canva. That's the technique I'm using. Most people know what Canva is and know how to use it. And I'm like, this is like made my month. I was so excited. Anyway, so I do things like that. So if you want to be on my list, sign up. You will get my other stuff. So I don't separate out everything. If you're on my list, you just get the AI tips on Wednesdays, and if I'm sending something else, you get that. And if you get sick of it all, you can opt out. So sign up. This one is gorgeous. Notice up here on the upper left how it's spelled. Like I said, I think it's a little creative. And this is for automating customer support. I'm not going to get into the details, but that is one area where AI is doing a ton. And it's being a great tool for people in customer service and customer support. Another one that a lot of people like is this one called Trade Tech that actually helps to qualify leads, pre-qualify. If you have a sales force, most people that have been in anything like sales would be pretty excited to have some kind of a tool for that. And then what I want to do is mention a couple things. ManyChat and Dante are things anybody here can use to set up a chat bot. We know the little chat bots over in the lower right corner of the websites. You can go set up your own. You could do one for your club and hook it up to your website. So there's all kinds of fun things that aren't super complicated that anybody can do. And typically when we talk about conversational AI or chat bots, the chat bots are actually bots, but they're the ones that type and respond in words. And then the chat bot technically are the ones who can talk to you. But you know, that's the fine details that you get into when you spend your time on this. Here, I want to show you the two people I work with on the lower corners. They're part of my education, training program, certification, all kinds of stuff. These are clones. And I've done a whole bunch of work to create my clone and never got it quite to the final estimation. But what happens with a clone is you do recordings and then you are created as a clone or an avatar, and then you can write the script and send it, basically send it to your clone, upload it to your clone, and it'll read your script and talk for you. So there are some people that don't like to be in front of the camera and feel like they haven't been through, what's that group? Toastmasters. Yeah, they haven't been to Toastmasters and had all the clicking and got rid of the ums and ahs and all that kind of stuff. And they don't want to be on camera. Well, heck. And this is one I'm going to propose to one of our clients. She's writing a series of children's books, and she's recovering from cancer the third time. So she's had chemo, and her energy level isn't so great. So I'm going to say, let's make a clone of you. And then we can talk to you about what you want to say. We can get your clone to do it, and you don't have to feel like you're on stage. You know how if you're doing a video or you're doing something, you kind of got to have your energy pumped up, or you might have a certain persona you're trying to portray. Well, because of our energy level, that might not be possible, but we can still do it by creating this. So anyway, it's all kinds of fun and cool stuff. Here's one I wanted to share with you quick.
Your sales team's performance? Do you have a few star performers while the rest struggle to keep up? You're not alone. Many sales leaders face this challenge daily. What if you could bottle the success of your top salespeople and share it with the entire team?
Okay, this is the clone that I made, and I went to the site. It's called Synthesia. I think it says that over there in the corner, and it'll be on the sheet or the thing you can click to from the end of the talk. And I picked out who I wanted and her voice and what she was wearing and all that kind of stuff. And then I gave her the text. And this is for a service that my team provides to help people get better at sales. Okay, here's the one. If you're not doing anything, that this is kind of your takeaway for the most part. ChatGPT is the leader out there. They're the first out there. They got all kinds of other things that are integrated with it, so you can do all kinds of stuff with that particular, it's called an LLM. The other one I would recommend is Claude, as in the French man's name, Claude. And you can get free options for both of those. And this is what, once you get signed up, this is called your prompt box. This is where you type in your order or your question or whatever you're going to do, because sometimes you're just going to say, write me a blog about blah, 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 for this kind of audience, blah, 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 blah. And so that's kind of like a command. So it kind of depends if you call it a command or a question, but technically it's called a prompt. And these are a bunch of things that I've done over the past. And that'll show up on your page, all the things that you've done. All right, so here's Claude, and I really like Claude. And rather than get into a lot of details, this also has a free version. So go to it. This is the most secure one out there if you're worried about security, because they operate differently than the other ones. And we can talk, depending if you have questions, on specifics on security. And this is Copilot, which is the Microsoft one, and I don't really use it, but it's really, people really like it that use Outlook for email and integrates all the Microsoft products. So it's kind of nice that way. And these are all what are called large language models, LLM. So you might hear people talk about LLM or generative AI. The terms are going to still keep evolving, I'm sure. Anyway, a large language model just means it has a whole bunch of information. So even though this would be a fantasy, if we thought about our best friend at the library that had read every book, every magazine, every PDF, every white paper, seen every video, seen every movie, and whatever else that you could think of, that's what's in these large language models. All kinds of created content. And what makes them so good is instead of going to Google where we put in a search and say, give me the top 5 trending, well, let me see. Let's say that, like one of my clients said, all right, we're gonna take a family vacation to Iowa in the summer, and we're gonna be at this lake. What are the top activities for kids? And there you go, you get some information from it. And instead of going to Google, where you go, oh, I gotta click on that one. Now I gotta click on this one. Now I gotta click on that one. Then you go, do I need to go to the next page and see what else they have? This puts it all together for you in one document. So it's a big time saver, and it's an organizer. And what I love to do with a lot of the stuff that I do is I have it make tables for me, because it'll even make tables. You can have it like if you did this thing about vacation in Iowa, you could say, okay, and now I'll put it into a table and organize it for me. Would you love that? I love tables, I just hate doing them. Okay. So the other thing you can do is, some people here I'm sure are doing media content. Betsy, in your work, I bet you do some of that kind of stuff. Jasper's been around for a while, and it helps create content. And this is Synthesia that I already showed you. And then this one is called, I always get this wrong, Deep Brain, that will again help you create content. And here's another one. This one in particular is more adept at doing things for social media. And then I want to show you this. So watch, there's going to be a prompt box, and it gives directions to this thing. It'll show up right there. 2 professionals shaking hands in a downtown scene. There they are. Now, is that amazing? So you can do all kinds of cool stuff. Veed will take a picture, an idea, a video that you have, and you can do some manipulation with it. I'm going to show you that in a minute. And then there's another one here called Descript that does something.
So these nuggets are made from chicken, but they're made to emulate the taste of like non-chicken nuggets. So these nuggets are made from chicken, but they're made to emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Dope. Let's boost that sound quality. Emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Dope. Non-chicken nuggets. Non-chicken nuggets.
Watch this expression here.
But they're made to emulate the taste of vegan nuggets. Sounds tasty.
So like I said, they do all kinds of creative and fun stuff. Now I'm wondering what happened to my, okay, well, we'll keep it.
So these nuggets are made from chicken, but they're made to emulate the taste of like.
Okay, let's see if we can get past that now.
So these nuggets are.
There we go.
This is perfect if I want to create an audiobook to publish or sell.
You can have it take your language and translate it in multiple languages. Sorry.
This is perfect.
In multiple
if I want to
languages.
create an audiobook to.
This is particularly fun, where you can use this service that puts together an email newsletter for you. We're a newsletter basically, and it'll go to your CRM, Customer Relationship Management Program, probably you know what that is. And it'll go to your CRM and it'll look at the emails that you've sent that are getting opened and that kind of thing. Then it'll write your newsletter on those topics that people already are responding to. Would that save some time? Would that be amazing? Okay, here's the one I wanted to show you. So, Brian, you can tell me.
Hi, I'm Becky Amble, and I'm doing a second
There's
video,
my
and I just talk a little fast.
transcripts
That's what this
in
will do.
France.
Anyway, I think this is pretty dang cool artificial intelligence.
So that's Veed, and that where you can take a video and you can tell it, make my transcripts, my captions in this language. Now watch this one though, it made me actually speak French, but watch my lips.
Salut, je suis Becky Amble et je veux me présenter en français. Je travaille avec des entreprises dans l'espace B. Entreprises industrielles.
So what do you think? Sounds like French?
Well, yeah, it
And
looked like you
your
were
lips are
speaking.
moving right.
I know, isn't that the coolest thing? So my husband studied French for a long
Salut,
time.
je suis
Yeah.
Becky
Shut up,
Amble et
I'm
je veux
doing
me
a second
présenter.
video, and I just
She
talk.
likes to keep talking. Anyway, so when I first did this, I had been in France and I didn't do very well speaking French, and I was trying to go, but you know, French is, that's an annoying language where you can have your conjugation for 3 tenses of the verb, and the only way you can tell which tense it is if you see it, because they sound the same, but they spell different. And I'm like, what kind of language is this? Anyway, so I was kind of frustrated, and I get home, and I thought, I'm gonna do this in French. So my husband, the French speaker, I go, oh, hey, you gotta come here. My office at home, down the hallway, I go, hey, you gotta come and see this. And I said, look at this, does this look right? And then I said, here, watch me talk. And I go, is that French? And he goes, well, I think so, I can't really remember. Yeah, big French speaker, you could think in French, you could read in French, yeah, you're really good. But you know, if you don't use it, you lose it, to a certain extent. Okay, you can personalize things. So, what that means is, again, you can clone your voice and you can have it send messages for you. But here's one that's kind of fun. This is called Resemble. It'll give you a little bit of a demo here, where you can see it's got an email, but
Hey
then
Bob,
it
this
can
is Kane
customize
Lucas
it.
from the web class today.
So just keep
It
your eye
was
on the
great
screen
to
for a
see
minute.
you, and I look forward to working with you in the AI-assisted entrepreneur 12-week sprint.
Okay, then you can pick who you want to send it to, change the name, and then you type in the new names. And I want to just show you the next thing that comes up.
Oh, instant mail merge, huh?
Yeah, but now look at this. So it will give you the messages, text or
Hey
email
Jenny,
or
this is Kane Minkus from the web
in
class
a message,
today.
and it'll do the audio.
Hey Jeff, this is Kane Minkus from the web class today. Hey Mike,
So how cool is that? Now it even types and talks for you.
The
Okay,
power of
here's
artificial
Kane.
intelligence today
See if I can get
is
him.
creating a world where there are no boundaries due to language.
A causa delle lingue. La IA rompe barriere. Le pouvoir de l'intelligence artificielle. Genzaino jinko chino anke karan koi sima nahi bana rahi hai. De kracht van kunstmatige intelligentie vandaag de dag.
Okay, so that's just a little demo that Kane did showing a sample of the different languages. Now that's amazing. Now this one I think has some great Rotary implications where it's wordly, where you can be in a Zoom meeting and you can have it type in whatever language you pick so that you can see the chat box what the words are, and you can have it talk. So it'll do instant translation of somebody. Now wouldn't that be a cool thing for Rotary or for city business meetings when you've got different people with different language skills and all that, to be able to have everybody get the communication?
And not just doing it in captions, but actually changing the person's voice to
Yeah.
the language?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can see, like, it'll show up in the chat box of, and I believe on captions too. I think I tried it once and put it in a different language, okay. But you can hear it, the speaker now is speaking in whatever language you picked, plus whatever's in the chat box is in that language, and I think captions. So, I mean, there's amazing stuff out there. Okay, the other thing, just quickly, I'm gonna move over to Make. If you wanna do any automation, there's 2 main ones out there, Zapier and Make, and I would just recommend Make because it's a better price. And what happens with that is you would do, I think this is walking through the demo, where you would go and you would pick out your email provider, and then you would pick out an email and you would tell it, I want you to integrate with ChatGPT and come up with a response, and it'll type a response and it'll send it back into your draft folder, and then you decide, yep, good, transmit or edit. And you might say, well, is that really going to save me time? Well, it depends, because maybe you have almost some routine type of emails. Maybe you've got a team and maybe you need to communicate or whatever. So it kind of depends what you're trying to do. But there you can kind of see it just walks you through the different steps. Okay, as I said, we're gonna keep moving. The other thing here, this is called AI Explain, and the fascinating part is we are working now on something called agents, where you will give it a bunch of directions and it'll just go do stuff. Almost like if you were at home and said, you know, I'd really like you to make dinner tonight, and I'm kind of in the mood for chicken and vegetables and blah, 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 go fix it. Well, that would be needing a robot probably. But it's the same kind of directions that have multi-steps that you are gonna be able to give to an agent. And it's just gonna be like, aye, aye, Captain, I'm on it. Now, those aren't working so great yet, but they're obviously evolving. Okay. And there's AI Explain. Okay, some quick things here. How's it getting implemented? You can get off-the-shelf tools. So ChatGPT and Claude are the two I recommend for any basic stuff. Those are the universals, and ChatGPT, first in the market, biggest one. Lots of stuff is integrated with it. You can also have customized things put together, or have a custom tool. And then training, and we do probably, we use with off the shelf, we customize, and my group, we also train people. So right now we've got, that's why I was sitting in the back of the room, we have workshops going on Tuesdays and Fridays. And we're walking people through all kinds of stuff. Well, one of the things is you go, well, I'm not sure what to make of all this and what I'm gonna do. This is the process that we use, and I share this with you because I just think it's helpful to have a process when you're trying to do something, especially something new, and you're going, you know, where do we start? So the first two things here, I would almost combine them, where maybe you talk to your team and start talking about, well, where do we have some repetitive work? Or what are some things that you're thinking we need to work on? So I kind of put one and two a little bit together. Then, you know, you move to the next step of think about different options. Well, again, you might need some help on that. Oh, sorry, I'm walking off screen. You might need some help on that because you might say, I don't really know what's available. Well, you might need some help. And then put together the implementation and train your team. And then sixth one is get it going and monitor. What we would suggest is do a pilot project first, because you don't want to assume you got everything figured out. We don't want to assume we always got everything figured out, because stuff happens. We're humans. We don't have perfect brains, even though we think we do. And so take it one step at a time. That's the advice I would give you, is just take it a step at a time, have a process, or find somebody that can help you with that. And this is, again, how we work, and I would just say, you know, if you want to do your own DIY, use this kind of as a model, because, you know, this is something that the company that we train with has been doing and perfecting, and we've got experts across the world that basically follow this model. So the first thing is kind of take a look at what's going on. What data do we have? What do we have to work with? So that's the first chunk. And then the second is, where can AI benefit our organization the most? And what workflows, you know, where can we simplify, where can we automate, what can we do, and do we already have people that know some of this or not? So that's how we work, and like I said, you can do this yourself. I just think it's helpful to have a process. Alrighty, I forgot one more thing today. So we need to quickly do this. I have some books I'm going to give away. So I need you to put your name on a piece of paper. You guys, I'll let you be in charge of this table. I think there's enough. Have a couple more. Okay, so just put your, all you need to do is put your first name on, and then I'll give away some books. We work with people, if you know anybody that's struggling with AI and they just don't know, or they think they know something, but maybe you realize they don't know something, Because a lot of times we ask people, how are you doing? Are you a beginner? Yeah. Are you advanced? Or are you intermediate? And then we say, well, are you doing this? And slowly those advanced hands are like, because there's so much out there. I mean, I'm in my 6th time of the training program because things are changing all the time. And then I think it was about a week ago, there were 3 new things that ChatGPT had launched. I'm like, okay, it's a job just to keep up. I mean, seriously. So, okay. Anyway, that was quick. Like I said, I wanted to give you more of an overview so that you just can say, oh, at least now I have a bigger picture of what's available, what's going on. Didn't know you could do all these different things. It doesn't matter if you don't remember exactly everything that I told you about, but you look at that and you go, oh, I could do something where I record my voice and then I can clone me, and if I'm not feeling well or don't want to do it, the clone can do it. So anyway, any quick questions and then we will do our book drawing.
How do you get to, bottom line is it's not real.
Well, it depends. Is Google real?
Well, probably not, but that's the whole thing. I mean, the world is built on personal relationships.
That's right.
And there's none. The farther it gets along, the less and less it gets. And the database that creates the answers is something that can be manipulated by somebody you have no control over.
That's true. And that's why we do what we call human in the loop, which means you're in charge. You're the brains. You're running this. You use it as a tool, as an assistant. And you also fact check. What I tell people is use it for something you already know. My first thing was I did something on benchmarking. Well, I have a drawer of seminars I used to do on benchmarking. So I'm like, and this was my first interaction, so I didn't really know what to say or how to say it. And I said, tell me about benchmarking, something like that. And I'm like, this isn't right. So I print off the doc, copy paste, print it, go to my husband, the engineer, and I go, look at this. This is what they're calling benchmarking. That's more like engineering benchmarking. And of course, being the engineer, he's like, well, yeah, what's your problem? So I went back and I said, explain benchmarking and give me the highlights for a business audience.
Can you say later to answer
Yeah,
some questions?
yeah.
She
So,
can say later to answer some questions, so.
but you're absolutely right, and that's where you gotta be in charge. It's not like we're going to say, all right, do this, and hand over the reins. Okay, I got Gary, is that right?
Yeah.
And I got Brian, and I got Betsy.
Ah,
So you can pick your.
which Brian?
That's you.
So I'll just tell you quick if I can. This is my most popular book. We sold 200,000 copies. I had 3 different publishers. So if you want that, it has nothing to do with my work. It's called Love from Grandma. This one pretty much has nothing to do with my work, but it's mind maps, which I use in my work. But this one is the 7 dimensions of life. So it's walking you through how to create the life you love based on using mind maps. All right, and then if anybody wants journals, I have 4 of them. I have one for women, I have the sort of generic one, I have one for youth and one for graduates. So those of you that had your names just called, you can come and pick out from this plethora of what you'd like to have. And yeah, for sure, ask me questions, I'll be here.
Cool.
And thanks again.
Yep, thank you. Can you stand over here for a second, please? I'm quite confident that you could use ChatGPT or any of those to help you write a note.
Oh, yeah.
These are thank you cards, and the photos are all from Golden Valley. And we like to give some small token of our appreciation for your being here, so we give you this pack of
That's
cards.
great. Are they all the same image?
Nope, there's a variety of them there.
That's great. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, one more time, everybody. Thank you. And if you please rise and say the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Fifth, have fun.
We don't have that on ours.